Coach, interested to know your thoughts on Brandon Pajemski going on a tear tonight to kind of keep you guys in it. And, of course, Jimmy Butler waking up at the end and really solidifying some baskets that you needed.
Both guys were amazing. Brandon's big time, second-year player, but plays like a 10th-year guy. I mean, he's just got so much poise and confidence, and he was obviously a key to everything. And then Jimmy getting to the line 12 times really carried us, especially in that fourth quarter. It was just an incredible performance by our guys against a great team that gave us everything we could handle tonight. So it's a big-time win.
A little specifically on Jimmy, he definitely looked like he was not 100%, at times limping even out there. Did you notice that, and what do you think he went through? And you played him 40 minutes, you just couldn't resist. You just had to have him on the court.
Yeah, we had to have him. I mean, if this were the regular season, he'd probably miss another week or two. But it's the playoffs, and he's Jimmy Butler. So this is what he does. The rebound at the end was just incredible. The elevation, the force, then of course knocking down the free throws to clinch it. Jimmy was just amazing.
What was going through your head when you saw that the final defensive stop unfold with Şengün versus Draymond and then the Jimmy rebound?
Well, what was going through my head was call a timeout. Either way, made or missed, we wanted to get the timeout so we get Steph back in. I just thought, Dre. Played phenomenal defense with 5 fouls, most of the fourth quarter. He's out there. And so he did a brilliant job. And we were able to get Şengün forced out a little bit further than he'd been for most of the fourth. So it made it a tougher shot. And then, as I said, Jimmy made an amazing rebound.
And I know you don't like to use the word solved, but to take a 3-1 lead with everything they've thrown at you guys, do you feel like you have all the answers at this point?
No, we don't have any answers. Every game's different. Tonight they just hammered us with Adams, 26 minutes. I bet that's a season high for him. I don't know, but Raymond would know if he actually did his job as PR director. But yes, correct? Okay, thank you. Stepping into playoff mode? Playoff Raymond? But no, I just think every game is different, and they made big adjustments tonight, playing that double big lineup more, playing Green less. But next game could be entirely different as well. So all these things unfold differently each game, and you have to adapt and adjust while it's going on.
Not to kind of over-dramatize that rebound that you're talking about, but how difficult is that come baseline? I think it was Adams that he had to leap over. What type of play is that?
Just looked like he was coming in slow motion, and just the elevation. I mean, he was looked to me like he was just head and shoulders above everybody, and that's a massive team they have out there. So, that's kind of. What makes Jimmy who he is he just does so many things. He makes so many big plays, and that was, he gets fouled by Brooks in the corner on the push, makes the 3 free throws, gets the stop, makes 2 more free throws. He's playoff Jimmy for a reason.
Steve, you talked about how Jimmy Butler has kind of clarified roles, and especially how Brandon has benefited from Jimmy's presence. Tonight, was there a way that you could tell that Brandon was, benefiting from Jimmy being out there and helping him, score 26?
We got off to a great start. Brandon did. I thought we played really fast early in the game, and that allowed us to get some openings against their defense. And Brandon, knocked down a couple shots, felt really good about his game, and really took off from there.
Steve, after the game on TNT, Jimmy said, he'd die for these guys, and he got his joy back. From what you know of Jimmy, what does that mean, that he'd die for his team and he got the joy? And how does he bring joy maybe differently than any other player that you've coached?
we have a great vibe here. You know, Steph sets an amazing tone, and you know, when Jimmy arrived, he was instantly welcomed by Steph and the group, and you know, vice versa. I mean, Jimmy really wanted to be here, and it's just a great match. You know, he was exactly what we needed, and you know, we've given him, you know, a group of guys to play with that I think he really enjoys, and it's been fun to watch it all unfold.
Hey, Steve, over here. What can you say about just Draymond's night? He picks up the early fouls, and like you said, he doesn't foul out, but also your guys' ability to survive without him for a long stretch of time there in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is what the playoffs are about. Injuries, foul trouble. Yeah, guys have to step up. I thought Quentin Post gave us really good minutes. You know, we just had to survive some minutes. You know, Loon, Trace gave us almost 6 minutes to help us survive and buy Draymond some time on the bench. So everybody just did what they had to do to keep us going.
Just temperamentally, does it seem like Draymond has not taken the bait so far this series? It seems like they've referred to him by name in the press, and even tonight, obviously attacking him after he gets the foul.
Draymond always walks the line. You know, he always teeters on that line. He's an emotional force, a physical force, and he just can't cross the line, and he knows that. And you know, he's just done a great job of playing through the frustration. This is a tough series for him. You know, just the way the game is being played. You know, they've kind of taken the ball out of his hands a little bit. And I just think he's done a really good job of dealing with the frustration and competing. And the last two games, you know, his fourth quarter defense keyed everything.
Steve over here. You said Brandon, for a second-year player, plays like a 10th-year guy. What about him allows him to do that? And when you think back to his first couple months of the season, he clearly wasn't playing the way he played last year.
Right.
Did you ever have a doubt that he could take this next step forward as he clearly did tonight?
No, we saw last year what he could do. And then, you know, we fully expected him to round into form. But Jimmy's arrival was huge for him. And again, it just everything, the pieces fell into place for BP, for Moses. You know, they were able to play off of Jimmy. The thing with Brandon, we know he's at his best when he's secondary playmaker, playing off the weak side, running through the catch, creating shots in the paint for himself, for others. And so once we got Jimmy, we were running a lot of offense through Jimmy, and that allowed BP to play off that other side. And I think he's at his best when he can do that.
Steve, what did you make of Buddy's game and just his addition to the starting lineup? How did you feel like that unit clicked?
Unit was great. I mean, great start to the first quarter, great start to the third quarter. So I think that unit gave us more speed, more shooting, and it forced some matchups for them to make the game a little more difficult for them. And then, of course, they counter by bringing in their monsters together, and we have to deal with that. So there's a lot going on in this series for sure.
And then closeout situation now coming in a couple of days. What challenges do closeout games inherently present?
They're always the hardest one. I mean, you know, every team that's in the playoffs, you know, especially a team like Houston, a 2 seed, 52 wins, big-time team. They got a lot of pride, great coach. They're going to be ready. And, you know, it's we got a long way to go. So we know that Game 5 will be the toughest one yet.
Steve, with all you've seen and, you know, as you feel out these situations, when a team, when the game on the line decides to post up Draymond and you're watching it, like on a scale of 1 to 100, how good do you feel about your chances in that situation?
1 being great or 100 being great?
100 being great.
100. I feel like 100. Yeah. I mean, he's the best defender I've ever seen in my life. And he rises to the occasion, you know, on top of being, you know, a great defender, he's an incredible competitor. And so anytime, and we've seen it, I've seen it for 11 years, game on the line, Draymond making a stop. It's like having Steph Curry take the shot.